Hi everyone, welcome back to another continuing ed check-in. This is really exciting today. Sania has no voice.
I don't know if that's exciting.
So have some patience with us as we struggle to give you guys good advice. But today's topic is, where should you go on a first date? This is super controversial right now. If you're familiar with Cheesecake Factory incident, and then we have another profile review on this episode, but this time we're gonna do a girl's profile, and so I'm really excited about that.
Why are you excited about it?
Because we've been reviewing guys' profiles, so we want to help the ladies out there.
Okay.
All right, I'm just gonna start us off by saying that I'm going to Houston.
You are?
Yeah. So I wanted to tell you, but I had to save it until we were filming. But I booked my tickets. I booked Airbnb, rental car. So I'm going in 2 weeks.
How long are you going for?
For 3 days.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So it ended up being pretty expensive. What happened was, one of my friends is going there for a conference.
Okay.
And so I had an extra reason to go.
Right.
What sucks is that he gets to go for free.
Right.
His plane tickets pay for his hotel. And then I can't even stay with him.
Wait, why not?
Because someone is staying at his hotel with him.
Okay.
From his research lab.
Okay.
So yeah, so the only additional benefit for me is we get to hang out on Saturday together, me and him. Mm-hmm. And you might be wondering, I'm not skipping out meeting Houston to go hang out with my friend.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
She's not available on Saturday, so I'm gonna hang out with her on the other days.
That's so crazy. Yeah. You're going?
Why is that crazy? Isn't it time?
No, but it's just so exciting that we started talking about her on this podcast.
Yeah.
And now you're gonna go meet her.
Yeah.
I think that's so exciting. I can't wait to hear what made you decide to go?
So she's been saying that she wants to meet in person.
Last time we talked about the Valentine's Day date that didn't go so well.
Mm-hmm. That was the last time?
That was the last time we brought up Houston.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just to give everyone some context, that Houston's very different than any girl that I've ever talked to. And so
wow.
she's very serious about dating.
Okay.
But I think specifically with me. So her intentions are always very clear. She's always when I message her, it's always a quick reply. And sometimes it takes me a long time to respond to her, but it never takes very long for her to respond to me. And so I'm never left guessing where she stands.
Wow.
I know that she's interested, and she'll make that clear too. Sometimes after our calls, the next morning she'll text me, and the biggest compliment that I've gotten from her, but it's very reassuring, is that she told me that I make her feel safe.
That's a really big compliment.
Thanks.
It's a really good one. Wow.
We'll have to go into how to do that. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah,
but
Ethan's just the Riz King. That's how he did it.
I don't know. So even though I guess in my book Valentine's Day didn't go super well, I think for her it wasn't a big deal at all.
Wow.
Because it's not I really messed up. It was, things didn't go to plan, and she's okay with that.
And you tried to make the best of it, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I will say, in the past, when things did not go to plan with other girls, I think they took that as a red flag, and they just but Houston's not like that, and it's very refreshing.
Wow.
So
stick by your man, girls, because he's going to come around if you give him a chance.
Yeah, I think if they are showing you like good qualities at the beginning,
Yeah.
and then sometimes they do things that are a little iffy, as long as it's not like they murdered someone in front of you, I feel like you should like give them a little grace.
Okay,
And not
that's
just.
fair. I'm all for giving people a chance. That's cool. Well, I cannot wait till you go and meet her in person. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'll tell you everything.
I guess you're going to
And-
tell us everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell all of you everything. I think one of the big challenges is for me to figure out what we're gonna do because I don't know the city at all.
Right.
So if you're from Houston, let me know in the comments what kind of things I should be doing. But I'm gonna make it work.
I also want to add this is a very like alpha male trait. Because you could have easily just copped out and been like, oh, I'm going to her city. I'll let her decide what we're doing. But it's very like, I think it's a good trait personally that you're going to her city and you still want to like, figure out what to do and like take on your role. So
Yeah. And that kind of gets us into today's topic. But before we talk about where people should go on a first date, or like how to set up a first date, I do need some advice, like with this girl. Yeah, so she called me last night,
Ooh.
and so
hot tea.
and then she basically on the call she asked me to talk every day with her.
Okay.
And let me explain. So right now we're talking consistently, but not every day.
Okay.
And so usually it's like texting, and then when we schedule a call, we'll have that.
Right.
But like on my side, I don't really enjoy texting back and forth. The conversation to me just kind of drags out.
Right.
And then sometimes the conversation gets dry, and so I just like slow it down and I don't respond.
Yeah.
And I'm totally okay with going days at a time without texting
Okay.
or calling.
Like at
And-
all? Like,
Yeah. And it's because like, I'm doing my thing and I don't like need that kind of validation as a guy.
Okay.
And I also will say that it's something that I'm not super used to. Like even with my closest friends, sometimes I'm talking to them once a week.
Okay. Yeah.
And that feels normal. It feels okay. Sometimes I would like to talk to them more, but I don't think too much if it's once a
Okay.
week. And so she brought up in the call that when we go like a day at a time without talking, she's not really sure where I stand. And so she brought that up. And so I was kind of asking her, what exactly did she expect? What would be helpful for her? And she was like, having some kind of communication every day.
Yeah.
Something consistent.
I think especially now that you guys are going to go see each other and stuff like that in person, I think it's weird to not have any kind of contact for days.
Okay, right now it's not days. It's like maybe one day.
I know, but I feel like there needs to be at least a text because like girls are like, I know everyone's an overthinker, but I think girls, especially when things are going good, are so nervous that something's going to come along and ruin it. And so like even if there's like, there's that one day of no text, I don't think you should have a call every day. I feel like that's like really overkill. But I think there should be just some communication like every day. Definitely. Like just like a text like hello, like a good morning, good night. Like I feel like a good morning is like a really easy way to do to like stay in contact with somebody without like too much pressure or like thinking too much about what you're talking about or anything like, without going too deep into a text conversation. You could just be like, oh, good morning, like, and she'll respond whenever she responds. Like, yeah, nothing too deep because I agree, real conversations are better like on the phone.
Yeah.
Like on a call.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I will say I'm not that type of person.
You're not the good morning text person?
I don't like that. that like grosses me out a little bit just thinking about it. Like,
Okay.
oh, good morning, good night.
So I wasn't used to receiving it either. I was like kind of weirded out by it. But someone recently started doing that. The serial dater. And at first I was just like, wow, this is so whack. Like, what?
Yeah.
But then I feel like it really like, because then, if we were in a fight or something and he wouldn't do it, I'd be like, oh, something's wrong. You know what I mean? But it's like a good way of like, I felt like it was a really low, like, remember with Email Cheater, I was so freaked out because he wasn't texting me for like a weekend trip when he didn't have service, and I was just like overthinking it in so many ways.
Yeah.
So I feel like it just puts that question out of my mind, and at least like, it's like, oh, like reassurance, like, oh yeah, we're still good. Because girls, like, at least me, and maybe Houston too, like, we'll just come up with scenarios in our own minds. Like, technically, you haven't seen this girl yet. So maybe that one day you don't text her, she's thinking, like, what if he ran into somebody on the bus and, like, this is it? He likes her way more. Like, something happened. Or maybe, like, this is his day with his other like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe he has a schedule. So, like, you just don't know.
I hear you. But do you think it's too early to be, like, talking every day? Because in my mind, we're still in the talking stage.
Okay, even though you're going to go see her.
Like, when I go see her, I think that's going to answer a lot of questions for me.
Okay.
Hopefully for her.
True.
But I think for her, maybe she thinks this is more serious than I think it is.
Okay, and that's totally fine. But I feel like just for her peace of mind, fine. Maybe you don't like to do the good morning text. I do agree. In the beginning, they're really icky. They're like, who? Like, why?
Yeah.
But you could just do something small, like, hey, like, da-da-da, like, just getting home from work. Like, just, like in the beginning, like, I think the serial dater, who I guess was just very good at dating, because he taught me a lot of texting habits that I didn't have. Like, even just texting what you're doing in your day, like, hey, just heading to the gym, like, gonna go play pickleball later. That's it. Like, just like a little update. Not like, and like in the beginning, I used to feel so awkward. I was like, you're not my mom. Like, why am I telling you what I'm doing all day? But then it's just for that, honestly, just for the other person's peace of mind, just for reassurance.
Damn, this is going to be a struggle for me.
Like you said, it's just one day that you guys don't text, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy to add one day. Like.
Yeah, that's true. I can go into this a little more, not right now, but I will say I got today's quota already done.
Wow, and it's only... Wow, I wore my
it's
watch
like
backwards.
7:30 a.m. You wore your watch backwards?
I did it backwards.
Okay.
I was like, why is it 2 p.m. right now?
It was actually by accident. So it's like around 7:30, but I accidentally sent her our podcast clips thinking she was you last night. And so I was like, oh, hey, I edited the clips for us to post on Instagram and TikTok. I'll have episode 3 clips ready for you.
Yeah.
Like this and that. And she's like, oh, like, can't wait to listen to your podcast. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do?
Oh my goodness. Okay, I feel like this is like another whole thing that we're going to have to dive deep into, because I do want to ask you about how your personal relationships are going with regards to our podcast being out there.
Yeah.
But we'll save that hot take.
Same with you. We'll give you guys an update on that soon.
Yeah.
But let's jump into it. Where should you go on the first date? That is a big question for today. But I want to start off by asking you, Sania, that if a guy came up to you, or you're talking to a guy and he asked you what you wanted to do on a first date, how would you feel?
Okay, so I feel like, especially in recent years, I've become very, very, like, spoiled, I guess I'll say. But I'm going to try to compare my feelings in recent years versus, like, when I was, like, young and, like, everything is amazing. I think in recent years, I don't really like it. I'm very much in, like, my gender role, and I really want you to just take the lead. Mostly also because if I think back to when I was younger and everything was great, I still would never want to be asked what I want to do on a first date, because, like, I'm very indecisive. I will never, ever be able to come to a conclusion. And so it'll never go anywhere. You know what I mean? And, like, I don't know what you want to do. And so it'll just turn into this big, discussion. And it's like, if we're going on a first date, I want to have a discussion about other things, not about where we're going. You know, I don't want it to be so front heavy, I guess.
Yeah. And let's say a guy asked you what you wanted to do. Would you think any less of him?
Okay, so in recent years, absolutely yes. Because it's just, like, it makes me feel, and I know that there's, like, 2 sides to this. I know it could be, like, they're just being considerate and that, you know, they don't want me to be doing something horrible. That's why I feel like, you know, I don't want some guy to come and tell me what we're doing, per se, but it would be amazing if they suggest, like, hey, like, what if we went bowling and then had ice cream after? And it could be perfect. Like, let's say if I was lactose intolerant, I could be like, oh, no, you know what? I actually can't do whatever, you know? Yeah. But for somebody to show up, like, I have had that happen too when I'm going on a first date. and you're all excited, you're all dressed up. And sometimes people do it at that moment. And you get in the car and you're sitting there and they're like, so what do you want to do?
What?
Yeah.
That has happened? That's crazy.
It's only happened with like people that I like, friends of friends that I knew that I was going on a first date with, not like somebody completely random. So like, but yeah, they've like, yeah, they've just been like, well, what do you want to do? And I was just like baffled. I was like, excuse me?
And in those situations, what did you say to them?
I just, okay, so one recent one that, not recent, a few years ago, but kind of recent. Honestly, everything's kind of recent.
Yeah, you could say recent, unless...
No, it's pretty recent. Yeah, this was when I was back home, and I was like, I was seeing this guy that I met through like friends of friends, and he came to pick me up, and I was just all so excited for this date. And I get in this car, like dressed like just in a casual, because I don't know what we're doing, because he didn't bring it up, because he's super busy at work, whatever. So gave him that reasoning. I get in his car, and he's like, so what did you want to do? And immediately my mind's like, oh no, this is gonna be one of those dates where he's just gonna drive around and like try to do some dumb like, but surprisingly, I was like, oh, like, I have the same answer that I give to everybody if they say that. I'm like, oh, I don't know, like...
Crumble cookie?
No, there was no crumble cookie back home. But I was like, oh, I don't know, like, whatever you want. Like, I'm a people pleaser, okay? That's just, like, the nice... I'm just like, oh, like, whatever you want. Like, you know, you're driving, whatever you want to take us. Like, I don't want to say take me to New York. Like, you know what I mean? Like, whatever you want to do. And he was actually... He responded really perfect. He was like, oh, like, you know, I was thinking we go, like... mini golfing and then get dinner afterwards and maybe see a movie. And I was like, wow, this is perfect.
Wow, that's a long night.
And it was a long night. It was very tiring.
Okay, and what about the other extreme? So I was listening to another podcast recently, and the hosts are a little older than us. They're kind of in a different life stage because they have money. And well, I don't want to speak for you.
No, true. No, please speak for me too.
I like just for me, like, you know, paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, no, true.
And so, but
Bay Area living.
and they were saying how when they've gone on first dates recently, I guess maybe in your 30s, like the guy, when he planned it, he had this whole plan laid out. He didn't necessarily tell her before. Okay. He just told her what to wear. Okay. So he's like, wear something nice that you can walk around in. And then when he picked her up, then he gave her like
the rundown.
Exactly. And so that's kind of the other extreme when he's planned it like all out and it's kind of a secret. Would you prefer kind of knowing beforehand? So
definitely. For a first date, I feel like what you just described would be like perfect for like somebody I've been seeing for like months. Yeah. But I think for a first date where like we really don't even know each other yet, you know, like let's say like I know a lot of people are like picky about where they want to go on a first date. Like some people would like there to be a lot of conversation. Some people would like, I think we talked to our friends about this, like some people would like to do an activity together to get to know each other. So I don't think I think you definitely need to give the other person a heads up. I think it depends on how you ask. If you say like, hey, what are you feeling like doing like on like whatever on Friday when we're going out? Or if you're like, oh, so what do you want to do? What do you want to do sounds like you're throwing your hands up and you're like, oh, you decide. What do you want to do? Like, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to plan, which sounds really negative because it feels no effort. But if you're like, oh, what, like I was thinking this, like, what do you think about it? Like, that's perfect. I feel like.
Yeah, I would say that's not bad. That's kind of like middle level.
Wow, perfect is middle level.
But I'm gonna say, as a guy, what you should be doing.
Tell me, what do you do?
So.
What is perfect?
So, for the guy, the prep work is super important. Right. And so you should be doing a lot of things in the background leading up to the first date to make sure that you're gonna do a good job. And so when you guys are talking, you should be knowing what kind of things she likes. Is she an outdoorsy person? What kind of food she likes? Is she a more bougie girl and would have higher expectations on you? Or is she more casual and chill? And so... Okay. And then also, like, when you're planning, like, there are ways to do it very well where you can pick an activity or a coffee shop that's located in a good area. that's walking distance to good places, and then also like maybe there are good restaurants in the area if you end up hanging out for a long time.
Oh, I like that.
And so doing the prep work is important. And then I think the key thing is that if you haven't been talking for super long, and let's say you don't have a super good feel for that person, you don't know like if asking them to play sports or go to a coffee shop is a good idea, then I would say a little better than like medium level is to give them like 3 options.
Okay.
And so that way you still have done the planning, but then she's able to give you some input. If she doesn't like that, I feel like she's not ready to date in general and like is not kind of respecting your effort. But do the prep work, like figure out what kind of person she is, what does she like to do in her free time, and try to build off that.
I like that a lot. Yeah. And I feel like that's going to set you up for a way better first date. Because, like, she already is going into it, and she's like, wow, like, he knows me so well. And like you said, even if you don't know her at all, like, let's say you met, like, on an app, and, you know, it's like you just matched, and you're going out, like, 3 days after matching. You know what I mean? And if you still send her, like you said, those 3 options, I think it's really, really good because, like, you are letting her decide in some way with whatever her level of comfort is, but you're also still showing, like, oh, no, like, I did do something, like, I did do my job, and here I'm coming to you with these plans. But I respect you, and you can make the final decision. So I really, really like that. I've never gotten these 3 options. Clearly, I've not been dating somebody like who's been perfect at first dates.
Don't worry. Every guy out there knows that now. That is what to do.
Yeah, I'm kind of like just even thinking about it, I was like, oh, that's really cute.
And so to give you ideas of what those 3 options can be, because in this episode, we're talking strictly first dates.
Yes.
And so I will say there is a difference between if you've known them already and you were friends first or you have mutual friends versus you just
a brand new person.
Yeah. And so there's like 2 different sides to that. I will say that if they're outdoorsy and you've known them already, hiking can be an okay option. That one is a little tough because you have to talk to them the whole time. Otherwise, I don't know. It could get a little awkward. You can point out things that you're seeing.
True. But wait. Also, from the girl's perspective, hiking, if it's somebody you don't know, could be super scary.
Yeah.
Because, like, hello, that's like, my dad always tells me, like, hikes, like, I don't know why. He's, like, paranoid that hikes are where they're going to take you to murder you and leave your body. And especially if it's somebody you don't know. Yeah. So I'm going to say I agree with Ethan if the girl's outdoorsy, but I wouldn't do, like, we're in California. Like, there's some real hikes out here. I wouldn't do, like, a hike. I'd do maybe, like, a walk in the park or, like, a super public, like, Twin Peaks, like, something that's super... like a touristy, super public, not a real hike, doesn't take too long. Yeah. And it's safe, so that make the girl feel safe.
Yeah. And this is definitely better if you've known them already. Yeah. But let's say you can tell that she is really fashionable and like has good style. What about like thrifting?
Okay. I feel like for me, so I really do like clothes and stuff. But I feel like for me, thrifting is like, I feel like it's, okay. So when I think about a first date, I'm like trying to get to know the other person. And so thrifting could be cool if you also like fashion, if both of you like fashion. But if I like fashion and he's taking me, you know, forget thrifting. Like if he's even just taking me like shopping and we're looking at stuff and I'm giving like my opinions on things, it's like, I don't know what I'm really getting out of it in terms of getting to know the other person.
I see. That's a good point. I guess... especially on a first date, you want to make sure that you can be engaged enough.
Yeah, both of you need to like show a little bit of who you are, I think.
Yeah, okay. Then what about something like bowling? Yeah. Do you have to be good at bowling to go on a first date?
Okay, so I also recently went on a date with somebody. Sorry, all these are dates, but honestly, it could just be like me hanging out with like a friend. But I didn't pay for it, so I guess I was thinking of it like a date. But this was like a couple months ago or something like that. And it was a friend that I knew all through undergrad. And he'd recently gotten out of a really long-term relationship. And he was like, oh, blah, 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 like, let's go bowling. And I posted a lot of bowling on my stories. And he always used to reply and be like, oh, Sania, like, let me teach you. So I'm walking into this thinking this guy knows what he's doing, you know? Because I think the thing about bowling, sure, you two can be at whatever level you two are at, but there's other lanes next to you. If you suck, people are noticing, and it's embarrassing. So we're out there, and we start bowling, and I beat him. And I've never beaten anyone at bowling because I suck at bowling. So I feel like maybe... like, I think I would be more... and, like, at the end of it, we just laughed. And it was, like, not a big deal because he's my friend. So it was whatever. But, like,
I don't know about that.
Well, but if he was... I think we're friends, but he was trying to put me in that not friend zone. Uh-huh. But, I was just like, oh, like, you can't bowl? Like... So I think it would help you a lot if you chose to do something that shows your talents and your skills. Like, you know, we talked about hiking. Like, if you're really athletic and you're not going to break a sweat and you're not going to get out of breath while you're hiking, like... that's pretty attractive. I'm going to be like, wow, he's so, like, fit. He's so healthy, you know? Or if you want to go to, like, pottery and you're just, like a hidden artist and you're, like, phenomenal at, like, painting your little clay creations, like, I'm going to be like, wow, like, you know? So, like, I feel like it doesn't hurt to choose something that you're good at.
That makes sense. I guess I wonder if it's a turnoff if you're too good at the activity, like bowling, or you're, like... You absolutely suck. Okay,
fair. So that mini golf date that I went on, the guy was so good at it. And I was kind of like, do you come here every week with, like, a new girl? Like, why are you so good at this? Why do you know this whole course? Yeah. So I think it could also work against you. I feel like if you're super good at something, or if you have taken a girl mini golfing to the same place a million times, I think it's good to, like, play it down a little bit. Just so that, you know, just bounce off of, like, the other person and what they're doing, you know? Yeah. Like, let's say if I went to, like I said, like a painting, whatever, something first date, and I paint, like, I like to paint, so I do it all the time. And if the other person's, like, struggling to even paint inside the lines, I'll try to make mine a little bit, like, I'll pay less attention to detail and, like, just so that they can feel comfortable. Because at the end of the day, you're not, you know, this isn't a job interview. You're not trying to show what you're really good at. Yeah. You're just trying to, I feel like a first date, the main thing is it has to be safe, make the other person feel safe, and then just put the other person in an environment where they're comfortable to speak and to, like, get to know you and for you to get to know them.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I want to just give my own example. So I went on our first date. We went to play mini golf. Okay. And the way that I kind of set up the date and made sure that it was something that she was okay with was I asked her, what are your opinions on mini golf? Like, when we were just talking. Yeah. And so she's like, oh, yeah, I like mini golf. And so I, like, organized that. And we were playing mini golf. And I don't think she liked mini golf at all. It's like, she's just trying to, like, you know,
was she not
impress
good?
Me.
Okay.
She was, so she was really nervous. Okay. And then I think she wasn't that good either. But that doesn't matter. Because I think...
you can enjoy things you're not good at.
Yeah, definitely. But I think, like, for her, being a first date, the nerves and then not playing super well just made her, like, not really...
True.
She wasn't really into it. Yeah. And so what I did was I was like... we were keeping score, and I was like, I don't care about keeping score. Like, do you care about it? And she's like, no. So after that, we just, like, tore the paper apart, and we were just, like, hitting the ball around and talking. Okay. And so I think for me, like, I noticed that she wasn't super comfortable.
You're very perceptive.
I try. And not all the time, but... yeah,
I think that's guys. Perfect. Yeah. Even, guys out there definitely, like, bounce off of the other person, like, really notice their stuff, because I'm sure she felt way more comfortable after that. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say the first date should not be about getting your money's worth. It should not be about you at all, but it should be about helping the other person feel comfortable, and then just having good conversations, seeing if you guys are compatible. Yeah. And so you're not going to be able to do that if you're just focused on winning and your competitive side is just winning out. Right. If the other person is competitive and they enjoy that too, then that's fine. But in general, you just want them to be comfortable.
Okay, so on this topic of comfort, what are some things that would not be comfortable? Like, what do you think about dinner on a first date?
Yeah. And I also wanted to ask about like getting coffee on our first date,
Okay.
because those are kind of the extremes.
Yeah, they are.
One is sit down, and a little more serious, and the other one is like really casual.
Yeah.
Okay, so you asked about dinner. I think that if you've known them already, if they're a friend of a friend, or you have been friends and now you're going on a first date, I think dinner is okay.
Okay.
Dinner, the issues with dinner, not issues, but the challenges is that you have to talk, and there's not a lot of external stuff that you can rely on.
True.
Because you can talk about your food like maximum, I don't know, 3 times over the course of the night. Like, what are you eating? How does that taste? Like, can I try some? So it's limited. And so either you have to come correct with the conversation or they have to.
Right.
And the other thing is that it can get expensive. Maybe the other person is ordering drinks, or maybe they want dessert.
Always get dessert.
I think you should always get dessert after if it went well.
Yeah.
But maybe not at the restaurant.
Okay.
Because then you can walk.
Keep it going, yeah.
And then have a change of scenery. So I think dinner is good if you know them already. Dinner is also good if you did something beforehand and you're having a really good conversation. You want to continue the date. I think going to dinner is good then too.
But for someone you never know, like you've never known before.
So I've still done it before. Like I've gone to dinner on a first date with someone that I've never met before.
Right.
And for me, I knew that I had to be ready with the conversation.
Okay.
And be ready to hard carry. And actually that's what I had to do, because the conversation was a little dry, I think. And so like I had to reach in my bag.
Okay, I do agree with you for the most part.
Yeah.
But I also do think, because I think it depends on your personality type, but Ethan and I are we're very chatty, so we can carry those conversations. So I feel like for me, like a dinner on a first date with somebody I never met before is like, it's kind of like easy to weed out the bad ones, you know? It's like, oh, if you can't even like converse with me and I'm getting bored, like, you know, like maybe we shouldn't, like, you know, we're not vibing the same way.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I like just advocating for the guys out there and the girls. Everyone is nervous on our first date. I think, to be honest, when you have enough experience, you know how to like manage the nerves, and maybe the nerves don't even come out. But I will say, if the first date is dinner, the expectations I feel like are a little higher.
Okay.
And so it's tough. Like not every guy is good at conversation.
That's true. And I feel like dinner is a lot of eye contact too, which people shy away from. Okay, I think, sure, maybe dinner on a first date is too much.
Yeah, I mean, it might be too much. If you're going to do it and you just met the person, make sure that you can carry a conversation. Yeah. But if you've known them already in some way, shape, or form.
Or if you think you're an amazing talker.
Yeah.
Like, because I've gone on a first date with somebody like that I never knew before. I literally matched with them that week, went out with them that weekend. It was amazing. I'd never had such a fun dinner.
Nice.
Because we just couldn't stop talking. So I think also look at, you should play up the things that you have good, like your good qualities. Whether that's you're a really good talker, whether you're good at sports, like whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess the prep work for that would be making sure that you know that there's enough in common to talk about before going into the date.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay. And then how do you feel about like a coffee date or getting boba?
I think that would be like a perfect, like meeting somebody off of an app situation. You know, you pick somewhere that's close, convenient for both of you. So there's no, because obviously if I'm meeting somebody off an app, maybe I don't want them to know where I live.
Yeah.
I live in a building right now, so it's kind of like whatever, like try to break it. But like, especially if you live in like a house or something, like you want to protect your privacy. So I think that's perfect. Like, like just, because also dinner, one thing that we didn't talk about is like the time of day for the date. Like maybe I don't want to give you my Friday night because that's really valuable to me.
Yeah.
And I just met you. So like coffee, boba is perfect for like, oh, like maybe like a quick Sunday afternoon, like a few hours, middle of the day thing, or like a quick after work 2-3 hour thing. So I think it's perfect. I feel like it's low stake. It's like, I can see that you're disagreeing. I see that you're thinking. But I actually think, like, I'm thinking about it. Realistically, I'd be kind of like offended if somebody offers me that as a first date, because I'd be like, wow, you think I'm just worth a coffee?
Uh-huh.
That thought is something that comes into my mind. Mm-hmm. But if you're thinking about, you know, being responsible to both people's time and also money and safety, it kind of checks all the boxes in that sense. Yep. And then you are talking, you're both comfortable. The only thing, I think why I said it, I would be offended, I don't really drink coffee. I don't like to drink coffee. I don't enjoy drinking coffee. So I think if you are going to do like, you know, boba is perfect because I love boba. So like, I guess at least figure out if she drinks coffee or tea or boba, and at least cater it to that part of her interest. And then I think it's fine.
Yeah. I will say there's a lot of people out there who think that a coffee or boba date is unacceptable. Wow. They're like, this is like for kids, like we're grown adults, like we should be doing something more serious, and like that's too casual. It doesn't feel serious enough for them. And I know those people are out there. I don't think either of us agree with that.
Yeah.
Honestly, on a first date, you just want to see if there is compatibility, if there's potential. Mm-hmm. And to do that is really that rests on conversation. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's a little easier if there's a shared activity.
Yeah.
But I think, like, if you're listening and you don't agree with us, you think that a coffee first date is too weak, I think we challenge you to think about, is conversation like actually important to you? And like, I don't know, I think you should just think about how much you can get out of just talking.
Yeah.
And I will say, as a guy, if you're planning the first date and it's coffee, a good strategy to not make it seem weak and just to give yourself a lot of aces like in your hand is just to pick a place where there's something that you can do afterwards and kind of continue the momentum. Mm-hmm. So maybe initially it just comes off as a coffee date, but maybe after you can take a cute walk around the neighborhood or around a park, and then maybe there's like a nice arcade, or like amusement park nearby that you can go to.
Wow, Ethan, I'm just listening to you talk and I'm like, wow, like guys think about so much. Like,
no, they don't.
Okay,
that's why we're doing this podcast.
Ethan thinks about so much, and I'm like, it's very like, it is really cute to have that option. Like you said, it's like an ace, like, because if the date's going really well and you do want to continue hanging out, you've already thought about it. You know, you don't have to stand there on Google Maps like, oh, what should we do now? What's open now? Like, so I think that's really great. Yeah, coffee on a first date could seem low effort if you're trying to take things a little more serious, but I think at the end of the day, like, it literally matters less about where you are and more about, you know, just if the two of you are getting along. Like, sure, it'll help maybe if you're like at an arcade, because then it's kind of like both of you against, like, you know, I think if you guys are both fighting against the same thing, you know, it puts you on the same team naturally, which will help you bond and get closer together. But I think, like, at the end of the day, even at the arcade, you could be at that hike, you could be at the dinner. Like, the main thing is just like the conversation and like just making the other person feel like they can talk and just like, yeah, talking.
Yeah. Because if you're not talking and let's just say,
like a movie. I think a movie on a first date, a waste. Why would I go on a movie? Like,
yeah. And
like,
just to be clear, we're talking about you want to be in a serious relationship. You want this to go somewhere.
I think that's our whole podcast. You know, we're not trying to give you advice on like, just like, on non-serious relationships.
Yeah, and my last point is that let's say you go to the movies or you're doing something that just involves less talking. I feel like the other person, you're not really getting to know them, and you're like perpetuating a kind of false idea of them. Like, you're not they can put up whatever front they want, and you're not kind of breaking that down.
True.
And so I think it's crucial on a first date to just be in an environment where you guys can talk, where you can kind of see them outside of a dating app or a phone screen, and have some good conversation.
True.
Ask them some fun questions. Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm good on this. I feel like
I think I'm good on it too.
we've hit some really good points. And so I don't know if this is your favorite, Sania, but this is my very favorite. I love profile reviews. And so it's something that I want to do more on the channel. Sania at first was like, are you sure we should do another one? But this time we're going to review a girl's profile. This is also from Reddit. If you want us to review your profile, feel free to DM us, and just make sure that your profile and when you DM us, your accounts match. But
please be a real person, you know. We don't want to do all this effort of reviewing a fake profile.
Yeah. So this girl's name is Serena, and this she hopped on Reddit asking for a profile review.
Oh, wow.
And so we're going to take a look right now.
I hope we're helping you out, girl.
Okay. So feel free to do the swiping.
All right. I'll try to be better at my swiping. I know I haven't been the best at it. Okay. So we're starting off. Is it screenshots?
Yeah, these are screenshots, so we're going to swipe.
So this is the first picture, a mirror selfie. I'm a big mirror selfie girl because I feel like I don't look good in pictures that other people take of me. So I feel like, you know, it's cute. I'm not getting... I mean, Ethan, you tell me the guy's perspective, but I'm kind of bored by this mirror selfie particularly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of clutter in the background. There's a lot of, like, stuff going on. And I'm just not really sure, like... I'm not, like... It's not making me curious to keep scrolling. What do you think?
I kind of agree. There's just not a lot going on. And also, she's not the center of attention.
Yeah.
She's in the middle of the picture, but there's like too much going on in the background. And so, like, for a first picture, I want it to be close up. A mirror selfie is okay, or just a selfie in general. But I don't know. She still looks good.
I mean, yeah, she does look good. I think just in general, if people are taking mirror selfies, this goes for guys and girls, like, there should be, like, some intent behind it. Like, I take my mirror selfies, like, if my makeup's looking good, my hair's looking good, or if, like, I really like my outfit, or I like my surroundings. This one, it's feeling like lacking purpose a little bit.
Well, honestly, it looks like she just checked off all the above. Like, makeup is good, hair is good. Maybe she's really feeling her outfit. So
okay, that's true.
But I do think, like, our point is, in terms
Make
of
it
execution,
pop a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Ethan's glasses.
These are my Delulu glasses.
I think I have Delulu contacts because mine never come off.
I'm dead. But
right.
These are, like, also my rose tinted glasses. Shout out to Giannis for giving me these glasses, but they're gonna help me in this profile review.
All right, green flags I look for: hates paper straws, back scratches always, sings in the car, commits to the bit. Okay.
So she means someone giving her back scratches.
Yeah, I think so.
Wait, is she wanting to date a cat or something? Like, don't you want, like, back rubs or something?
Like, maybe, like, you know, like, no, it could be little scratches too, not as intense as, like, a back rub. I think this list is, like, asking for, I think if she kept it to, like, she started off good, hates paper straws. Not that I hate, whoa.
Oh, okay.
I have to be careful what I say, especially in the Bay Area.
This is not tied to our opinions on these things, but this is, like, getting to know her.
Yeah, it's like kind of funny because, you know, everyone can laugh about, like, when she said that, I read it and I thought, oh, soggy paper straw, yeah.
Okay.
Agreed, girl. You know? Like, I think I'm just looking for stuff that's relatable. What do you think?
Yeah. You want conversation starters. That is gonna be the biggest thing that will help you on the dating apps. So any like hot takes that you have, any like thing that brings out your personality a little more, that's a little more vibrant,
Yeah.
put it in there.
All right. Clearly the back scratches didn't hit for Ethan, but...
Wait, can I ask? I'm so distracted by this. When do you back scratch someone?
Like, let's say if you're just like, if you're sitting and like waiting for like your food to come and you can just be like, it's like very subtle.
What the hell?
Like, it's very, very, very subtle. Or if you're like I think this would be best, like if you're in the park, it's like a sunny day, you're just sitting, like taking in the sun, and just like little subtle back scratches. Like, you know how guys like to have their hands on like a girl's leg when they're driving? Mm-hmm. Like for girls, like it's like the back or like head, like it's just very subtle. It's not a massage per se. And it's not really like you're feeling somebody up, but it's just like a very subtle like contact, and it just feels really nice.
Okay. I'm taking notes.
Sings in the car. Okay, so that means she probably likes to sing in the car, so she wants... But I would have reworded that. Instead of sings in the car, I would have said, like...
Carpool karaoke?
Yeah, like something a little bit more fun, you know? Like that hate... I don't know, yeah. Like, I think we noticed this in your profile. You said stuff, but you had really good word choice. I think word choice also matters a lot. And then commits to the bit, like, okay...
Yeah.
She likes a funny guy, like, cool. I like the way she worded that one, for example.
Totally agree.
All right. I think, Ethan, I'll let you take it for this next slide.
Okay, so on this, we're not going to see all the stats, but we see she's in her mid-20s. She's pretty tall. I don't know where Clarksburg is. If you know, comment down below, let us know. But... I think she's keeping it minimal, but like all the things are there. And so she has a job, very good. She went to school, also very good. If you know anything about Flagler, let us know too. I've never heard of that school, but I'm sure it's good. And she's Christian, so I think it's important to put stuff like that because you want the other people seeing your profile to know kind of what your values are in general. You don't have to be specific, but I think for me, also being Christian, like I would see this profile and that would like keep me scrolling.
It's a positive thing. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think about this picture? What do you think about, I guess I'll say, bikini pics in general on a profile?
You know, I go back and forth. I would say as a guy, I really enjoy them.
Where's the back and forth?
But
please tell me the back now.
Okay, the back is that it's scratched. The back is scratched. The back is that other guys are seeing her like that too.
Okay.
And so I'm the type of guy where I don't like to share.
True.
Obviously, like this is just like on the dating apps. It doesn't matter. But I think if a girl shows a lot of revealing pictures, it can say something about her personality and her desire for attention, desire for validation, especially for her body. But I will say Serena in this case did it a little more tastefully. Yeah. Because
it's not a booty pic.
Exactly. So I would say like this is why I'm back and forth.
Okay. So I'm gonna. Sorry, Ethan brought up something that I think we're gonna have to talk about maybe on another episode, Ethan, because just ignited a fire in me to speak on this. But I'll just make one comment.
Yeah, your voice healed.
I don't think the clothes that you wear are at all by any means a depiction of your character in a negative way. I don't think wearing revealing clothes should say those things about you. I know that in society that it does, and people perceive you that way, and that's kind of the complication. But I think just because you're posting bikini pics doesn't make you a whore.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. That is not.
But my personal preference about bikini pics, I think I'm all for. I think you should show your body type in general on a dating profile, because I've also gone on first dates where it's all been selfies, and then they stand up and I'm just like, wow, this is how you look, and it was a letdown. Not in a rude way, but it's just not what I expected, I guess, because it's when everybody was wearing masks during COVID. When people take off those masks, you already had a different idea of how their face would look, and then when they took it off, you're like, oh wow. But I don't think you need to show so much,
Yeah.
I think guys like curiosity, and I think like more is better. Like wearing more, like, you know.
I totally agree with you. Thank you for bringing that up. I think, like, if you're a girl or you're a guy, you want to wear like swimsuit pictures
And the same goes, by the way, when guys post gym selfies. I don't like them. That's like an immediate, like, I say no. Which it is showing your body, and it's great that you have a 10-pack, but like.
Yeah, I think both of us agree it should not speak anything to your personality or how you are in general. You should wear whatever you want to wear and
I mean,
have pictures and you're looking
she
good.
looks great. Yeah. It's not that, but it's just,
Yeah.
We don't I guess what we're trying to say is, in general, you only get like 5-6 photos that you can put. One doesn't need to be a bikini pic, especially the second one. I think it's too early to, like we already kind of saw like we had an idea of her body. I feel like that first one was perfect. Like it gives me an idea of her body type, because like this is dating apps, and you are going to go for somebody who's physically also your type. So you do need to know that. But yeah, I mean, cute smile, cute bathing suit, but maybe not. And if she's going to have it, maybe at the very bottom or just not at all, I would say.
If it's at the very bottom, a lot of guys might not make it there.
That's the thing. It's only for people who truly like everything else about her that get to be like, oh, like here's also. You know? That's my thinking.
I can get behind that.
All right. Like this, perfect. Sorry, in terms of giving it an idea of like what her body type is.
Yeah.
It shows her sense of fashion, so I'm feeling that. The picture's crooked, which I'm not too happy about. And I don't see her face, which I don't like at all.
It's because she's too tall. She's 5'7", so it's like...
Doesn't fit.
But we kind of have to look at it this way.
Yeah, I like that it shows her fashion sense. I'm starting to get a little bit bored. It's getting stale for me that it's another mirror selfie. How are you feeling?
I agree. I know that... Or I don't know, but already I have the feeling that... She's like a vibrant girl, a fun girl, and so we just want to see her in action. And
I know not everybody has pictures of them doing things outside, but I think like we said, I think we've said this on other profile reviews, you just have to be intentional about each photo and make sure that it's showing something, it's getting a message across. Like this one's showing me that she's a fashion girly. I would have just liked to, maybe get that message in a different way, just not another mirror selfie so soon.
Yeah, I will say, a picture like this is very helpful for me as a guy because I get to see her whole body, like from head to toe.
Yeah.
And so I get to know like exactly like what she looks like.
Yeah, like just to know what you're getting into.
Yeah. But I will say like if it's just from a selfie, it's not ideal.
Would you have already swiped away at this point, do you think? If you saw this profile come up?
I might have already swiped right. And
Okay.
Houston, cover your ears.
A random fact I love is, Ethan, I'll let you read this.
If you put Viagra in a vase, it will make flowers stand up straight for a week beyond when they would normally wilt. Dang, that's hard to read with the Delulu glasses.
Okay, I feel like, why would you say Viagra in your dating profile?
Yeah, I will say I got a sneak peek on this profile before we started reviewing it right now.
Yeah.
And one of the comments on Reddit was, if you bring up Viagra, even though it's not in a sexual context.
Yeah, it
like
just
shows,
has those connotations.
Yeah. And the person who commented said that she probably intended that.
Okay. And that's totally fine. Yeah. Also, sorry, we're giving our opinions because I think Ethan and I are both a little bit more like conservative, I guess, and a little like you're not going to be putting Viagra on your dating profiles. Like I didn't even know what.
That.
I've seen your dating profile. I know it.
You've seen it now, but
you're not going to need it anymore, right, Houston?
I had a life before I knew you, Sania.
So yeah, I think if that's your intent, if you are trying to play up your sexuality and your that aspect of it, that's totally cool. I think for me, I was just kind of like, whoa, Viagra. Like, I didn't even know what that was until, like, a few years ago, and I saw it in a movie. Like,
what kind of movie were you watching?
I think it's, like, The Hangover or something. I don't know. Like, like, dumb movies where they make jokes about this stuff. Anyways, point is, if that is your intent, it's totally cool. It is something very personal.
Yeah.
If we look at it that way, and you're saying it in a funny way. So I think, yeah, I mean, if that's the intent that you have, I think it's doing the job.
Yeah, I will say this is Hinge again. We'll try to mix it up at some point.
Yeah.
But as a guy, if I'm replying to her profile and sending her a like, there's not a lot that I can work with here that isn't sexual.
Okay.
So if I like replied to this and made a joke or like had some banter, it's, you know, there's not.
And you know what? Maybe that's what she's looking for, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
But there is content there for you to comment on, right?
Right. So Serena, if you're watching this, if that is not what you're looking for, or if you want like guys' responses to be better or more tailored to you, this is gonna be harder to work with.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna ask, oh, so you like flowers? So, I'm gonna be like, that's not the only thing it works on, but we'll keep it moving.
All right. I love this picture. I wish this was a second picture and I would have kept scrolling instead of the bikini picture. Like, I wanted to swipe away when I saw it because personally, she looked amazing, by the way. Very cute bikini. Serena, like, if you want to comment where you got it, like, it's very cute.
Yeah.
But I think this one is just, forget about, I feel like maybe people watching are going to think we just like sweet, innocent stuff, but it's not that. I think this just shows her happy. She's not posing too much. I think, Ethan, you had a similar photo in your profile when you were eating your ice cream. Was it ice cream?
It was pudding.
Oh, pudding. But it just shows, like, you know, it's like you out in the wild. It shows you super happy. You look great. Your makeup is stunning. Your hair's flawless. Girl, no flyaways. Like, hello. And then you're with your pet. And, like, I think I would have a million things to, respond to this picture. I'd love to say, ask you what your dog's name and, like, how long you've had. Like, it's just, like, a great conversation starter, too.
Definitely. What is a flyaway?
Well, flyaways are, like, when your hair's frizzy. It's, like, on one strand of hair, there's like lots of little ones coming up. So it's not smooth. When you see not smooth hair.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a lot right now. So it's clipped up.
Okay. Okay. And then we get to the next prompt. I go crazy for blue eyes, but change my mind.
Very cute. I like it. I think it's so flirty.
Okay.
I think it's like flirty, but it's also like a challenge. And I think guys like challenge. Are you not feeling like, let me change your mind, girl?
Yeah.
By reading that?
But for me, I'm forced in a position where I have to change her mind.
Exactly, but I think that's what she wants. Like, it's like a challenge to, like, you know? She's like hooking you in, kind of.
Yeah, I'm always down for a challenge.
See? I love that.
Yeah. But I will say, it kind of, like, do you think it shows her personal preferences too much? Do you think it might deter a guy who lacks confidence?
Blue eyes. Who doesn't have blue eyes?
And lacks confidence.
No, I think because she said, but change my mind. Okay, yeah, maybe she wants confident guys, though. And I can get behind that. That's why she's saying the but change my mind, because she's like,
that's some 5D chess right there.
I think this is great. But, you know, for the kind of guy maybe that she wants to attract.
Cool.
Love this selfie. Because that's like showing her super done up. And I don't think girls, every single one of your pictures should be you perfectly done up. So I like that she had the one, you know, with the dog. It's a little more casual. But I like to see also, and I'm sure, Ethan, you like to see, like, you know, like when she gets dressed up, how does she look? And like she's showing us that with that selfie. And then she also has her with like all of her girlfriends, which we love to see pictures with friends so that we know that you're not a serial killer. We know that you're social and that you have friends. I'm liking the second half of this profile a lot more than the first half.
I agree. I think this is the end of the profile, but I will say in general, I think the diversity was good, but I would still like to see more action shots.
Right. I think I would just like to change around the photo order again. I know people don't think about it that much, but I think it really sticks out to me because, you know, you really have to catch someone's attention. I think instead of the first photo, I would probably put this selfie with the makeup. Because like I said, I truly believe the first photo is like the catfish. It's like kind of to hook the other person to make them even want to keep scrolling, you know?
Even though this picture is her slanted the other way, like as a first picture.
Instead of the mirror selfie. Do you disagree?
I think if I had to choose between the two, you're right.
Okay.
But like I would prefer a picture that's like normal. So like like maybe not a selfie. If it is a selfie, something where you're not slanted.
Okay.
But that's just like I can get like a really good first impression really quickly.
Yeah.
I will say though, I love like the picture with friends. I think that's absolutely necessary. But do you think there might be too many friends? Like it might be hard to like.
Oh, to find her? Yeah,
Yeah.
like right now and like.
I think she's in the middle.
Serena, girl, where are you? Is this her?
Yeah, I think that's her.
Wow. Okay. It is too many friends, but I think at that point I'm looking at it just to see like that she is friendly and that like
Yeah.
I'm not really looking for her. I've seen her a lot.
I mean, right now I'm kind of checking to make sure like
Yeah, actually,
does
don't
all
know.
her friends have blue eyes? Like, do I actually have a chance?
I'm dead. But yeah, maybe fewer friends just so it's less confusing because it's somebody who doesn't know you. So like I also had to like go in there and like really search for who she is. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say like visually very appealing, but then I think as a guy scrolling on a dating app, I don't want too many things to look at. I don't want to get distracted easily. I want to focus on you. And so that would just help a little bit. Still a great picture though. If you don't have other pictures, this one's fine.
okay.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Overall, I think solid profile.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I know we were talking a little bit about, the bikini pic and the Viagra, but I think if there's certain things that you're trying to get across, like you are getting them across. Her profile's pretty specific, which is good.
I'm scrolling back to this not for the bikini pic, even though it's a great picture. But one question that I had was over here, she doesn't list what she's looking for. She hid that. So is she looking for a short-term relationship, long-term relationship, life partner? And I'm wondering how you feel about that, or like what if we would recommend hiding it.
So you got your Delulu glasses on.
Yeah.
I believe even if people don't have that, I don't think it's a problem because I believe I can make everybody want a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
But I know that that's not always the case because sometimes people aren't ready for that. So in that case, I do think it helps to just put it there. You can even say like not sure what you're looking for. But I think it just kind of does help because there are people on, this is Hinge, like there are people who are very certain about what they want.
Yeah.
And, just to, again, it just helps streamline the crowd that's being attracted to your profile and the crowd that's swiping on you.
Yeah.
So I think it helps. Maybe she doesn't mind filtering through all of those people on her own and like deciding by talking to them.
Definitely. I have two final thoughts on her profile. The first one on this is that if I don't see you saying what you're looking for, I'm assuming that you're open to anything.
I agree. That's the same thing I assumed.
Yeah, and so maybe that is her case. And so actually it's for me looking for a serious relationship, I'm more likely to swipe on a profile that hides that they're open for anything, as opposed to if they say short-term relationship, because I'm not down for that.
Totally.
And I like with these glasses on, I also believe that I can convince anyone to do a long-term relationship. But I will say like I have like that girl, I want to give her a nickname now. What am I going to call her? I'm going to call her Breadcrumbs. She was the one I went on 3 dates with.
Yeah.
Things were going well. And then she like let the conversation die and ghosted me. She also left that out. And I could tell that she's kind of open and kind of exploring. And I failed at convincing her this. I'm sorry.
Happens to the best of us. It's when those glasses shatter.
Exactly.
And you're like, wait, reality?
It was tough. And so like for me, if I saw this profile right now, I'm fully aware that this could be a girl who might break my heart.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah, does the same thing.
But it's better than someone who's outright a no, who says, I just want a short term.
Yeah. So if you're a guy, just be careful about that. Just know that they have the potential to break your heart. Protect yourself. The last thing I want to say is that I wish in her whole profile, she told me kind of her interest, her hobbies, because that's a very easy way for me as a guy to start a conversation. And on any dating apps, one of the major problems is you're having the same conversation with everyone. You're like, they're asking you, what do you do in your free time? It's like,
stale.
It always happens. But if you already kind of let them know what kind of things you're interested in, then they don't have to ask you, and they can kind of pick what they can relate to and just start a conversation right away. That's not like the typical, what do you do? What are you interested in?
Okay. I think I could get behind that. I mean, she had that thing about flowers, if somebody wanted to ask her about flowers.
I don't know, but I can't even tell if she was interested in the flowers or she's interested in something else.
Or her dog.
Yeah.
But I do agree. I think, maybe a little bit, give people a little more to work with Serena.
But great profile.
Pretty girl. Yeah.
Good job.
All right.
Okay, so that's where we'll cut it for today. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time, and there's lots more to talk about.
Yeah.